interview style.
Yeah, BJ.
Okay, awesome. Hello, guys. My name is BJ Min from Dreampreneur.com. We're having another special interview with a successful internet marketer guest. His name is Jamie Lewis. He is the creator of Domainer Elite. His specialty is teaching people how to buy and sell domain names. Okay. Jamie is not only just a domain guy, he's actually been in the internet marketing field for over a decade. And he's actually had success with multiple digital marketing products. Top ClickBank guy, top JVZoo guy, sold a bunch of domain names at huge prices. But in this interview, I want to ask, like, I want to talk about who Jamie Lewis is. You know, I want to tell the audience, like, this guy was a guy like looked down on at the time before he had success, you know? So anyways, welcome, Jamie. How you doing?
What's up, BJ? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, the audio's in the back. Can you turn that off or something? Or I could hear myself.
Oh, you got some audio? There you go.
I got my own audio. Never mind. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, I fix it. I fix it over here. You can fix it over there. Yeah. So what's up, everybody? What's up, BJ?
I'm doing good, man. I'm coming back to this interview thing, man. So anyways, today I think most people may not know your whole story, right? That's why I want to know, like, because one video sales page I was talking to me earlier was that I saw a sales page video of him back in the days, and he was sharing before he became an internet marketer, like someone who, you know, before he became an internet marketer, he had a picture, you know, at the time. Can I say it? The way I said it?
Yeah,
I mean, you look like you were like, most people would look at you and like judge you and like, who is this guy? At the time, you weren't making money. You weren't doing internet marketing. You had a girlfriend at the time or a family around them saying like, when is this Jamie guy going to make money? You know, he's not dressed polished or whatever, but everyone underestimated you, right? At the time, right? But you made it, you know? So like, I want to ask you, like what, like, how did you do it? Like, how, like, most, like, people think like internet marketers sometimes are like weird or crazy or whatever, you know, they can judge you or judge us or whatever. Like, how did you keep at it and go for it all the way, you know?
I feel like it was a long-term investment of time back then, you know, because during that time I was telling everyone, you know, no, I'm working on something, I'm working on learning a technical skill, you know, but it wasn't like a established trade that I was doing. It was more of like a jack of all trades. You know, I wanted to learn the multimedia, you know, for my own purposes, doing music, videos, and stuff like that. And during that time, you know, the product that I was producing was like rap music, and they were like, you're never going to make any money with that. Like, it's just, you're going down this you know, this rabbit hole to nowhere or whatever. And then that was actually what I started to make money with, was, you know, the beats, my hip hop, you know. And once that happened, when the money starts to come in, you start to notice, you know, well, heck, I have nothing to do now. I did my work. It's selling. You know what I mean? It's non-exclusive. That's
so what was
to do. I had that dream, you know, never forget your vision, because the vision is obviously, I mean, you might think like, oh, I have a vision of me driving around, you know, Lamborghini, you know what I mean? Like the freedom, peace, it's peaceful in the country. No one's bothering me. You know, no one's like, yeah, I'm not trying to pull into my garage and someone walks in front of my garage when I'm trying to pull into my car, and then they look at me and they're like, oh, you got too close to me, and they stand there. You can't even get into your garage. You got to go to the bathroom, you know, number 2. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Someone standing in front of your garage, you know, like, oh, you got too close to me, you know, and that actually happened to me like a million times. I had a garage on 21st Street.
So who was Jamie Lewis before the success of internet marketing? Because I don't know, everyone knows
that guy. It was that guy who was like constantly getting into road rage incidents. You know what I mean? Like where
were you living? What was your job?
There were like bowls of like like, you know, the bags in the freezer that are filled with the frozen noodles, you know, not ramen, but you know, the noodles, the garlic noodles with the carrots and the broccoli. You
Frozen
know what
vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, frozen vegetables, but they're a little bit better than frozen vegetables.
Okay.
Well, I would have made those, and then there was a whole bunch stack of bowls, and then I was on the Final Cut Pro, and you know, after time, after a year, you know, your baby mama gets tired, you know, loses hope. She's got the, you know, the sister and the mother and the aunt and all these people. You know, he's never gonna be nothing. You better leave him. You better leave him. And then, you know what? She did. She left me, and then I was like, bam, got to work, and then boom, 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 you know, so like found a payment processor, it was ClickBank, and then wow, I made a sale. Wow, I made another sale. And by the end of the day,
wait, slow down here. Like, what was your first project though on ClickBank? First site that had success?
Beats 365, man.
Beats 365. So was that your first website after when you were down? You were working on that. That was your first site.
Yeah, yeah, and
that was your first site.
Yeah, it was like you know, download my beats, man. You know, like you know, for one-time fee, like for one ticket, you get to download all of them. Forget one by one.
But let's talk about the process, because I know for those of the people who don't know the history of Beats 365, it became like a top ClickBank seller in the music industry, the music niche. But like, you didn't have success overnight. I mean, I'm sure you changed it up. Like, can you talk about the process, how it wasn't Beats 365 in the beginning, how it was in the beginning, because everyone was selling per beat at the time, right? Were you following that model like everybody else at the time in the beginning?
Yeah, and this is what's so exciting, because it's different than like, oh yeah, I'm running my company and my day's like this. I wake up, I answer emails, you know, like this, like typical, you know, generic advice you hear from people all over the place. It's more like, this is so important for people to hear, is that it's more of like these stages of vision, right? And so when you get into something, it's what drives you and what pulls you to do better, and it starts to compound and things start to grow and big things happen. You feel like you're blessed left and right. The reason why that happens is because you have like vision that, again, this is what I was saying before, is like, it's not like, you know, the vision is I'm going to be driving a Lamborghini or something, but it's like the vision is units, like how many sales I'm going to be doing. It's based upon like a mathematical premise. You know what I mean? Like if you do $130 from something that took you $130 a day from something that took you like a month to build, you're like, well, how many months are there in a year? Well, I guess a year from now, I'm going to be making $1,500 a day. See what I'm saying? So you get that spark, right, and that gives you this incentive. Like when it's like a clinical trial. You know, like when they invent drugs and stuff in the laboratory, you're in the lab, right? And that's the way I thought about it. I was in the lab, and I invented something that was kind of a spin-off of something that existed. You know, in this case, back then it was like Napster, right? I remember thinking that. I was like, I've got to do something like Napster, or something that I've been seeing a lot more of, which is like, you know, hey, get a membership and download.
Everything. You already thought of downloading everything from the beginning, like Napster.
Yeah, and I mean, I was familiar with, you know, hey, this is $30 a month, and I tried that. Okay. But again, it wasn't, it was more of like, I went in like trying to get a lot of money. You know, in the beginning, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. I got this thing built, and I'm going to, you know, start selling this thing. I was way too overpriced in the beginning, and that's what I found. I was like, damn, this traffic isn't stopping, but no one's buying. I'll drop my price. No one's, they're still not buying. And then I was like, all right, I'll give it all away. You know, I'll give it all away. Oh, wow, people are starting to buy. Then I was like, well, now I found, you know, I found this winning combination. Now I'm going to optimize the site. Oh, now they're really buying. So that was like the stage. It was like I tried to do it, you know, and in the beginning, that was like the little calibration process I had. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then once I had that formula, I just rinse and repeated it because it's non-exclusive. I mean, once you build something that's up and you have that winning formula, it's done. It's good. 10 years, it's going to be making money, and you don't need to touch it, you know? So the next month, the next month, the next month. And so like 2 years from then, or like 1 or 2 years into that, you know, my girlfriend was getting pissed at me because I was working constantly. But you see why I was working. Like, once I found that award-winning combination, and I was like, I'm just multiplied by 12 months. What about 2 years from now, 24? You know, if maybe I'm going to get faster and better at it. I'm pumping them out every 2 weeks, right? So I just didn't stop doing that, and just you know, would introduce a different type of download site, or a different type of information download site, or, you know, and you know,
different news are always music.
Yeah, to illustrate it, it was like, did the hip hop beats, did the country beats, freaking kids music, relaxing music, stock music, just kept, you know, like, what else could I do in terms of, you know, I can do music. Well, I guess, you know what I mean? But then after that, after there were enough of those, started to branch out into stuff that I saw existed on the marketplace. Take a look at the competition, or take a look at what else people are doing, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to copy the same thing, but I'm going to do a little bit different. You know, one of the examples was, like, I saw a lot of the relationship advice stuff, and that was something I could hang with. Couldn't hang with a lot of the other niches I saw, like how to lose weight or how to jump higher in basketball and shit. I didn't know nothing about that stuff, so I stayed away from it. But jumped into a lot of the relationship stuff. I did really good at that, so I wrote a few books, you know, on relationship stuff.
So give us an example of a relationship project that had success. And what was the funnel? What was the process? How do you become successful with the relationship niche for you?
Yeah, the first one I did, I guess I was, again, like, blessed or lucky or whatever you call it, to have picked the right niche during that clinical trial process, right? I don't know if I'm supposed to be using that term.
It's okay. Totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And now
testing it out. You're testing it out.
Yeah. Figuratively or whatever. Yeah. So so the first one was a unisex product, you know, for men and women, which was, you know, how to get your ex back when you're heartbroken, you know.
And, okay.
And then I was like, you know, I got a little greedy, you know, and I'm like, oh, well, now after I did that, now I'm going to do one just for women and one just for men, right? Those didn't work as well.
Separate sites?
Huh? Yeah.
Separate domain names? Okay.
Yep, different domain names, different offers, right? And so that didn't work as well. So then I sold off the I think it happened in this order. Created this unisex how to get back together with your ex, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, everything all in one. And it worked. It was great. It was just like this umbrella for all of that, right? That kicked ass. And then I sold it for like 50 grand or something.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, wow, that was cool. I got a payment 50 grand right away, but wow, that's pretty stupid. Now I don't have an offer. You know, I was making quite a bit of money from it. So.
How much were you making a month with that site that you sold for 50 grand?
50 grand would have been like 16 months worth of income. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
It was worth it. I mean, it was cool because I would have had to wait 16 months to make 50 grand, right?
I see. You double it overnight.
Yeah, okay. Net. You know, that was net. So the gross earnings were probably in the 6 figures or something, you know? Per year, yeah. Because, I mean, I was giving away like 70%, you know, so 50 grand was like the net, like 30% of the, I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, so anyway, then I did this machine, bro. I created this software. It was freaking great too. Customers loved this thing, man. They send me like thank you letters and stuff. Like it hardly had any refunds. It was really expensive too. It was like $100 a pop. What it was like called the Get Back Together machine, right? Now the Get Back Together machine, it was like fill out this survey, right? It was like fill out the survey and get a customized result. Big disclaimers like, This is entertainment. You know what I mean? It's not advice. I'm not a therapist, etc. Very important to do that because you want to be honest, transparent, and not break any. I don't know if it's a legal issue, but
legal thing. Yeah,
probably is, you know. But you know, so that type of thing. But in the beginning, it was like, what's your name? What's your email? Right? It's like a form. You create it with Aweber, and it's like, are you married? Who's your spouse? You know, is it the gender of your spouse, etc. Right? Then keeps going. It's like, how long have you been broken up? How long were you together? I think how long were you together was before how long were you broken up, right? So I had all these questions. It's like 50 questions.
Wow.
And I hired a programmer because I did everything up until that stage, right? I did the form, created the website, created the graphics, created everything. And then I created the answers. So it was a lot of writing because what I told the programmer to do was, if someone selects they're a male, then you will not include C2 or C3. You will bypass that and go to D2. It was like create your own. And so I told the programmer to, like, when someone goes to the bottom and says submit, and then it says to get your results, it's $97.
Right. Oh, okay.
Give the you know, the customer, boom, it's like an ebook. So it was a
custom made for the customer.
Yeah, it was a customized ebook that people would get, and they loved it. It was great because it was very detailed. But this thing took probably about 3 days to build, and it wasn't rare to get $1,000 in a day from this thing. So you could imagine.
And you sold it for $97?
Yeah, you could imagine how powerful what we do is when you have these 3 stages of business. You have, first of all, the build and offer stage, right? Just out of nowhere, just out of your brain, and create revenue streams like that on top of each other. So you're doing like $10,000 a day. Now all that money comes in. Then you have the option to exit strategy, sell those businesses. And then when you sell those businesses and you get a big lump sum, invest that money. You know what I mean? That's why people own helicopters and Learjets. You know what I mean? In our industry, that's what these little punks, the 21-year-old punks. The reason why is because this is reality. Like, you not only have, like, you could be freaking living on top of the world with just a offer like that. Then exit strategy for real, and then investing. You know what I'm saying? So it's very exciting. So anyway, back to the examples of the relationship stuff. I sold that initial unisex product. Then I was like, damn, I got to do some more. Oh, I'll do a girl one and a guy one, and it'll be for unmarried people. Those didn't do as well, right? I never got into the divorce stuff because that's more legal, and this is more of like a joking around. You know, like, oh, you lost your girl. I'll show you how to get her back without making a fool of yourself or getting a restraining order against you or something. You know, it's like entertaining, funny stuff, right? So I did that, and then after that, got into I got smarter, and I did another unisex one, and then I did the Get Back Together machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was an example of a relationship product, right? So it was mainly that. It was music, relationships, and I did a couple like database offers.
Like what?
You know, back then on ClickBank, it was really easy to create a database offer where it was like, you know, people were looking for a resource or something, and then you'd give them a selection of resources. It was like paying for convenience, you know, and a search a method of searching for that whatever resource was, and you know, but those didn't really last. Like, I think ClickBank was like, nah, we're not accepting any more of those. I mean, people went nuts with them back then. It was like 2006, and people went nuts. It was like, it was weird. It was like also like a lot of government resources and stuff, so it was kind of sketchy. And
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then after that time, I started to you know, this is something that, you know, I was always envious of the people who were in the internet marketing niche, right? Or business opportunities, you know. And I'd always see their stuff, and I was always like, you know, like really, like kind of unimpressed. So I was like, all right, it's time I do one of them shits, you know. So it was like 2009. I started to you know, get into that niche, you know, teaching how to build these offers and stuff. You know what I mean?
Was it a success? The first project you did in the internet marketing niche, the first one you did.
Yeah, the first one I did. Well, the real first one I did was like was this really not a good. I mean, it was good because it wasn't just an ebook, but it wasn't too good compared to my other ones, right? But it was my first one, so I created this product called Profit Monster.
Okay,
that was my first one, Profit Monster, and then I sold that to this guy who became a name in internet marketing or whatever you call it, that niche.
Yeah, I see.
And I sold that off the same way I did with the relationship site. And then after that, my manager, so to speak, was talking me into doing it. So I said, you know, talking me into doing another one, right? A real one. And I told him, I said, you know, I don't want to do like a biz op thing. I want to do like for more intermediate, advanced people. He made it pretty biz op-y though. Okay. But that one, I had cartoons and stuff. Like I created cartoons. I don't know if the cartoons helped conversions. I mean, it didn't. I don't even think it had like any upsells, you know, one-time offers or anything. So, but that one was pretty good. And then the third one was the one that did really good.
Is that I Am with Jamie?
No, that one was Copy and Profit.
Oh, Copy and Profit.
That,
okay, before
that was the first one that was really crazy. Yeah.
What made that one stand out? You think, looking back, Copy and Profit? What made that one so successful?
It was like McDonald's, man. Yeah, it was like the McDonald's of AdWords campaigns. I sold out my AdWords campaigns. Like
you gave it to them?
Non-exclusively, yeah. So like, you know, a few thousand people were using my AdWords campaigns. It didn't work out well for all of us in the end, I'll tell you that. We all lost our AdWords accounts, but, you know, for a while there it was working. Yeah, I mean, you know, we had testimonials of people like, yeah, it works, I made money. It's pretty cool. I mean, and that copy was hypey too. I mean, we were like, just plug it in, you know, just copy our AdWords campaigns and you're good to go, you know? So it was hypey. It was just like, you're going to make tons of money. And the cool thing was that there was a lot of testimonials where people are like, yeah, it works. They're pretty cool. You know, they give you the settings, everything, how much, you know, the bids for clicks and settings for, you know, the budget daily, and you know what I mean? All that type of stuff, you know. Back then things were much easier. I mean, much simpler.
Right.
I wouldn't say easier, but I'd say much more simpler and not as many choices or options of what to do with the pay-per-click campaign. So, you know, as you can imagine, it was like, here's the ad, here's the keywords, here's your settings. And so on the sales page, it was like, complete with the settings. Oh my God, he's actually going to give me his settings, you know? It was like, you know, nowadays that work
for you, right?
Huh?
Done for you. It's complete like done for you type of offer. That's why it did really well.
Yeah, because all that time and the campaigns in Copy and Profit, what do you think those campaigns were? The beats
of your offer?
Yeah, the beats, the relaxing music downloads for all the people who can't sleep and they need relaxing music, the sleep deprivation, okay. That was one of the keywords. And then the relationship stuff, the
oh, that's smart.
Yeah, the database stuff.
No, they're like your affiliates. You're training your affiliates.
Yeah, but there was also stuff like I kept telling my partner, you know, the guy who talked me into doing this, he'd put the Copy and Profit PPC campaign at the top. And I kept telling him, don't put it at the top. People are going to think like we're trying to get people to resell our stuff. And he's like, yeah, we do want that. We want, you know, we want people to resell our stuff. And I was like, no, it's sketchy. No, I was like that guy who was always like, no, this is, I don't want to do this.
Trying to pull back. Right.
I was like, it's making too much, like I've had that so many times in my life where I was like, this is making too much money. There's something, this is giving me a bad feeling,
Right. You had an intuition too about it.
I've been like, no, I don't want this to make money anymore. And it makes money. I'm like, damn it. You know what I mean?
Because you don't want to be too much attention. I hear what you're saying. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back, it's interesting to hear you've had a lot of successful offers in multiple niches, right? Looking back to a guy who wants to get into digital marketing, right? Whether it's through ClickBank or JVZoo. And for me, example too, like I created a lot of offers that didn't sell. Like what would you give people for less experienced digital marketers out there who want to have that one offer that just makes a hit? You've had multiple hits, not just one.
I've got a great answer for you, bro. And I mean, this is, if this is simple too. Make it so that you, as the seller, are getting ripped off.
Wow. Good. Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
That is really good piece of advice. Make it so that you. I mean, look. Now this comes with a little disclaimer, right? To not get it twisted, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you're annihilated. And a situation like that would be like where you promise to talk to someone on the phone and coach someone on the phone for 15 minutes for nothing. Opt in and I'll talk to you on the phone. You don't want to get it too much, but
right, okay,
like $1 to come on a webinar.
Yes.
And then you're working your ass off in that webinar for 3 hours, right? You get off of it, you're like, and so the point where the people on the webinar are like, damn, you're really, you're a good dude, you know what I'm saying? So where it's like you're giving a lot of value, you hear that all the time, but it's like, people are like, what the hell does that mean? And I put it in a no, I don't give a you-know-what terms.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah. And
this is in the, this is really what broke people have wrong. Like everyone wants a minimum wage, all this and that, where the person who's protesting for a minimum wage, try being sold something by that person. You'll feel like you're getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't know how to do business, dude. Like when you do business, remember, like, do I want what you're trying to sell me? Like, did I ask? Like, is this solicited? Like, when you send in your music to a record label, they say no unsolicited material. You know what I mean? Like, from the perspective of an A&R, the guys who take that music, when you send in your music, there's a pile of it. It's a pain in the ass to them. Like, they got to pay for a P.O. box. You know what I mean? Like, and then the P.O. box is like, there's no way they could ever listen to all of that music. So the perspective of someone selling something that doesn't have that experience, and what I'm telling you about how when I first got started, I was that same guy. I was that same guy who was like, oh yeah, the corporate guy is a jerk, we need a higher minimum wage, this is BS and this and that. Now, I got my hands on the computer, right, and on the internet, and what was the price? What did I try to sell something for in the beginning? When I was
just like everybody else.
I was all hippie-like and everything, right? $400, right? You know what I'm saying? And nothing, guess what? Nothing happens.
Right.
No one's going to buy, it's like, oh yeah, buy this water bottle for $20. No, you got to know the value of what you're doing. Now, if you were to be like, hey, I've got a special, you get a case of water for $3. So it comes out to 10 cents a water bottle. This is a good deal. You might get more conversion. You're going to get some conversions for that. You know what I mean? So it's that's
how do you deal with the fear, though?
You're the clinical trial, right?
Yeah.
That spark, that initial conversion. For those who don't know what conversion means, it's like converting a visitor into a customer.
Yeah.
That initial, chain reaction or whatever you call it, that bam, we've got a conversion.
Yeah. Is
going to happen from you giving more value than you're asking for money. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Plus,
I totally get it. Yeah.
That's like a foundational thing, right? But there's some exceptions. I'll explain that in a second. But at the same time, were they looking for something? Well, give them something even better than what they were looking for at a price that is justified, right? Because here's the little exception is I've told friends of mine, you know, I see they're trying to sell their services or whatever. A lot of my friends do certain things, you know, they're a fix-it guy or you know, they're on their own selling a service, right? And when they're down and out, they're like, all right, I'll take this gig, you know, or I'll do it for $10 or, you know, $50. No, it's a $400. It is actually a $400 job. You don't need to go all the way down there. And that's what I meant by don't annihilate yourself. Was don't get it twisted and rip yourself off, because then you're going to be in big trouble. People will be like, oh, he's desperate. He must be desperate for a reason. He must be undercharging for a reason because he sucks. I'm going to get a guy who charges more but is good. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing of why you know, like, if you undersell yourself, then people lose respect for you too. So it's more of like, do something where it's like a good deal where people can't refuse, you know, a deal that people can't refuse. And there's huge value so that the person is going to be like, wow, that's a freaking great deal. That's a great service. It's not more of like, it's not like, is it a great deal, but more of like, it's a great service. And hell yeah, it's that, you know, like when you hear, if someone were to hear about the service first and it sounds so amazing, they're like, man, wow, that's how much is this thing going to be? That's probably going to be $3,000. What? It's only $50. You know what I mean? So if you were to explain it first, that's what I mean by make sure your shit is really good. And then what is $50? Wow, all right, great. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's not like, you know, like you're annihilating yourself, right? Like, don't make it so that at the end they're like, huh? It's only $50?
Exactly, yeah.
Guy must be like, there's something wrong with this. There must be a catch, or, you know, he's not telling me everything. You know what I mean? So it's a balance. It's really a balance. But I'll tell you one thing that really worked well was, you know, I Am with Jamie. I saw all these people doing coaching and stuff, right?
Okay.
You know, and that works. Some people need a one-on-one coach, you know. More power to the people who really got everything out of it, and people who are coaching and all that, you know. Yeah. But I saw that and I was like, well, I'm going to try a little happy medium. And so I did this thing where it was I'm with Jamie, and it was $1. And you get to, and I do these 2 shows a week, you know, 2 webinars a week.
And that's crazy,
you know,
man.
Yeah, come on in, and we'll do, I'll work with you one-on-one, and I'll work with everyone else in the class one-on-one. So it was like, it's a class and it's $1, but after a week it rebills to like $50 a month, or forget how much it was a month, $97 a month, some amount like that, you know, so affordable, you know.
And you were the first guy to do it that $1, right? And before, nobody did that $1.
Probably someone did, but this was pretty big. And around that time, I think a couple people followed what I was doing, but you know, that $1, there was an upsell. Yes. There was like an immediate, like, hey, you know what? Bypass all this, and this is your one chance to get, for $200, get every webinar forever, you know? Right. Yes. And so for $200, you got, so, you know, we saw a good EPC. For those who don't know what that means, the earnings per click, we saw a really good number right away. But then after a week and it rebuild, my affiliates who were promoting it, they'd hit me up. They'd be like, holy shit, you know? Wow, you know, boom, because they were already excited, you know, because $1, $100 commission, $1, $100 commission, $1, you know, and they're like, because if it's just $1, they'd be like, you sure it's going to rebuild? What's the stick rate like? So, you know, you had that one-time offer in there, which made sense to the customer and made the affiliate feel more secure and happy and, you know, confident that it's going to be a profitable promotion. And then a week later, boom, the rebills come in, and since we kicked ass in them webinars, everyone wanted to stay.
Right. You know I mean? Right. So, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Looking back, these are awesome information right now. Awesome insights, by the way. Value, all that stuff. If you were to continue to create another offer, let's say, right, with the information you just gave, like, what would be the perfect pricing and funnel? Like, like upsell prices? Can you give any insights on that? Like,
yeah,
let's say the internet marketing niche, for example.
Yeah, it really depends on the traffic, and it depends on the method of promotion, you know, the affiliate and who the affiliate is, and the method, what the affiliate's customers are used to seeing, what price points they're used to seeing. And there's a lot of factors that go into play. Like, you can get a good idea, and this is what I tell everyone to do, is self-educate yourself and go to the marketplaces and look at what other people are doing on the marketplaces in terms of that front-end price point. Once your front-end price point is up, we usually do like 100 to 200% more. You know what I mean? Like, so if you got $27 front end, then the upsell could be anywhere from 50 to 100. But you know what? 27, man, we've had $200, $300 upsells. But it's always like that, though, because we don't do like, oh, you know what? We're gonna do, you know, $47 on the front end and then $500. No, it's more like it'll be like 27 and then 100 and then 300. You know, that type of thing.
And how many upsells do you recommend is the max? Like 2,700, and how many until you stop? You know what I mean? For a funnel, it's like a JV.
Yeah, we've seen some problems happen when people, you know, like I've never done this many upsells, but I've seen other people like try to do like 12 upsells and stuff, and it doesn't work out very well for them.
Why doesn't it work out for the people?
I don't know. They might disagree with me on it, but yeah, I don't know how they do that, because upsells really like
piss off the customers.
It can hurt you. Yeah. So you got to be careful. Like, I do like 2 or 3 or 4 or something. Not really like.
Why would it hurt you? You're saying the customers will get mad and refund and charge back stuff like that?
Yeah, no one likes upsells. The way that I do upsells are like to the point where I put myself in the position of the customer, like, ooh, thank you for making that up, you know, letting me know about this.
Okay.
So they make sense. You know, you got to make sure your upsells make sense.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, there's no point in having them in there. Like, if they're not converting, just take them out. You know,
just take them out if it's not converting. Okay,
take them out and then fix them or something. I mean, you don't want to take them out completely. People will be like, you know, but I mean, to give you an example, I just promoted somebody. It's a great program. It's perfect for my program too. Okay. And he only has 1 upsell, but the front end is recurring billing. It's great. And so every month I get, you know what I mean? I get you know, a lot of residual income. And the way that it's structured, it's like, you know what, so you make that, if it has a lot of residual income, you might not want to have too many upsells clouding up everything. You know what I mean?
What's the price for that product that converted well for you? Example, you don't have to name the offer, but what's the price?
Yeah, it's like
$50 a month.
Yeah, $50 a month, you know, or maybe it's like $40 a month or something. And then yeah, I think he has like a $100 upsell or a $50 upsell or something. It's nothing like
just 1 upsell.
Yeah. And so that was a great offer to promote for me, because nowadays I have like a really solidified base in one niche, and I really just concentrate really on just one thing.
What is that? What is that one thing you focus on?
When it comes to the marketing world and everything, I'm really very much into domaining and domain investments, and you know, people, you know, a few times lately, people have said, you know, who has good domaining stuff, or where can I learn how to flip domains? Everyone says I do, you know, unanimously or whatever. So thanks everybody for digging what we're doing.
Well, now, Jamie, for you're now focusing on. There's so much internet marketing thing you did in the past, but you're now choosing to focus on the domain, even for the products you promote.
Yeah, and it started off like
why though? I'm just curious.
Because in the webinars and everything, everyone would ask me this that was the one thing that people could understand that I was doing all way back, like since before Flippa existed, like eBay. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing that forever. Like literally, like one of the longest periods of time spent on one method is domaining. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. That was
7 or something.
So all this time you're doing all these things like most internet marketers do, but there was this one thing that you were really talented at naturally, and then other people also recognize that too, right? and they were asking you. So
yeah, and I mean, like, when you do those webinars, like I did like 600 of those I Am with Jamie webinars. I mean, nowadays it's like I pop in, I got alumni teaching the class. Like it's, you know, after 600, you can imagine, right?
are you still doing webinars, by the way? Are you still doing it live every week?
I pop in here and there. You know what I mean? Like it's still those two. Yeah, it's my go-to webinar account. I mean, you should see this account, bro. It's like 600 webinars or something, 700 or something. But but yeah, man, I pop in there, and you see a lot of like frustration. You know what I mean? Like people are frustrated. You know, a lot of the times, what happens? Why would someone search online business on Google? You know, and start to get interested in like how can I make a living from home?
Yeah.
They're probably, why is that person searching that? Because they've fallen on hard times. They've gone through a divorce and the wife took the house and everything, and they're just suicidal. And those are the types of people I would encounter by the hundreds.
Right.
And so, you know, like they're dependent on you. So if you got an ounce of empathy, and so, you know, you got empathy in you, then you'd be like, you know, you start to feel really sad, and you'd be like, wow, I really want to, like, if I'm going to go on this webinar, and I know people don't have a long attention span. So, and I kind of felt like, you know, I had the gun to my head and like helping this person in 15 minutes. Similar to like when you teach, you're like, pretend you got a gun to your head and you know, don't procrastinate. You know what I mean? Like, and that's true because, unfortunately, like that person who comes to the class is like looking at a whole bunch of other things, playing the lottery, you know, considering this, considering that, considering this, considering going back to work, you know what I mean? Like just all over the place. So when that person sees like a banner like, hey, here, look at this ClickBank screenshot, a lot of the time the emotions that person will feel is hate for that person who is making that money, jealousy, envy, and greed, and all these, you know, 7 deadly sins or whatnot. So you go into a webinar and you find yourself being pulled into the abyss of hell. And so you find like you're like, well, let me turn this around and give people, you know, help give people something in 15 minutes. And I think to myself, like, what's what I do that's the easiest thing I do that actually makes a lot of money? I was like, oh, domaining. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'll create a software that finds domains for $9, but ones that are really good, and gives people a guideline. But it was like almost, it was this period of time where domaining, like in the class, like people would bring in really bad domains. You know what I mean? Like the domains weren't, you know, and it's difficult. It can be a difficult thing to teach because, you know, there's a lot of ways to mess up a domain. So, you know, you have to establish rules. These are rules that I established like a long time ago. I was like, I have my own challenges with any model that I do, or you know, in the lab, you get frustrated, you know, to the point where sometimes you want to throw something through the wall. Like, especially when you're dealing with someone else's website or program. Like you log into Google AdWords and they have entirely changed the landscape of the interface, and you're like, I don't need this right now. You're like, where's the button that I'm used to clicking on and stuff like that. And people who are just getting started are extremely frustrated with things like that. And man, I've seen it firsthand. I mean, like, not just in the class, but with family members of mine who've really gotten into it and wanted to learn it. I've seen people wait 4 days, 5 days, sometimes 2 weeks into them trying to get into this stuff. Like, I still haven't gotten the email, the confirmation email. I'm still not signed up. You know, stuff like that, like where it can't even get signed up. Those are the kind of the initial frustrations. And the advice I have for anyone who's just getting started with this stuff is you've got to push it through like a baby. Like in the beginning, you've got to, it's painful, but you got to sign up for all your accounts, and you've got to get that out of the way, and you got to get approved. You know what I mean? There's always going to be an approval process no matter what outlet you're using, whatever platform you're using. And then after that, like, you've got to start writing, designing the blueprints part. It's just like building a house. You're going to have an architect. You're going to be designing it first. And then you get in the materials thing. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that. And so with domaining, it was always like, it was this thing that I had solved all of these challenges for myself. And then I was like, well, now I'm going to automate this for myself. And it's going to be there's going to be so much, it's abundance, like it's abundant, where there's just millions of domains that potential, right. And then make it available to people. And, right. And so I did so, and then it's really it's probably one of my first resources that is kind of just used. It's like used by professionals, not just newbies or intermediates, but it's everyone. It's newbies, intermediates, professionals, no matter what. People can purchase a domain for $9 and then resell it for, usually $200, $300.
Wow.
Because
wow.
The reason is that to resell something for $5,000, this is like the universal law or whatever. You're going to go blind looking for a domain that good. Why?
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Don't shoot that for the stars. Shoot for like, hey, let's do $50 ones, $100 ones over and over and over again. Because you can do it, because the only thing you're paying for is the domain. It's $9 or $10, right? Depending on your GoDaddy coupon or whatever you got. And so you don't need to like in the stock market, there's big fees every time you make a trade. It's like a fee that makes it so that a homeless guy really can't do it. But in domains, all you need is $9. You know what I mean? So, okay. Or in crypto, it's like you can $30 or something you could get started with. But there's a lot of the other opportunities. You need a lot of money to get started with stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what's so great about domaining is you can kind of purchase it, and then you have control over the value of it. You could create a logo for it, create a website for it. You could, your idea really is able to make money in a digital way without.
Can you quickly talk about the Domain Elite after the what's $25? What it is and what's kind of like the upsells, what people can expect possibly in the future upsells, what other valuable info we can get?
Yeah, like the $25 one is the light version, like the bundle for like the pro version, which I recommend for everyone to get into, is not only the software, but includes a marketplace where other buyers and sellers inside the members area. You have a really, really cool way of boosting your auctions. If you have a flip auction, or if you have a GoDaddy auction, or if it's on GoDaddy Premiums, which I recommend to people, there's no fees or anything. Right. Great way to mine amazing domains and then upload it to the marketplace inside the members area. And then there's also instructions, there's a course, and then there's also a couple live webinars for you to try out. So the first upgrade is, instead of 4 listings on the marketplace, 3 listings, sorry, you could upgrade and get unlimited listings. You know what I mean? BJ, are you there? You've frozen, BJ. Your video is freezing. But anyway, let me go on and see if you are okay here. But yeah, that's Domainer Elite. Domainer Elite Pro is pretty much the go-to place for turning a lump of coal into a diamond. That's a good analogy. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
Lump of coal into a diamond, $9 domain into 1,000%, 10,000% profit, but usually 1,000%.
Just personally, as a digital marketer, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I look like a drowned rat.
Let me turn this up. What's going on, dude?
I never like how I look, you know what I mean? But and that's another thing is don't let have a furious inner core. You know what I mean? Don't be so concerned about your outer core. You know what I mean? Because that's what's, you know, use the heart, like the heart of a lion. You know what I'm saying? And just crush your adversaries.
When you're creating an offer, how do you get rid of that mentality? Some people think like, oh, I don't want to give away too much. They're going to take away all my secrets. You know, like if you have one thing that you're really good at, you know, like you're creating a course on it for internet marketers. You're like, oh, the competitors could take it away, but you're giving away for $47. I always had a challenge with that sometimes. Like, how do you just cross that line and say, screw it, I'll just give it to you?
Weigh out the incentives. Like, that's something that is important. That's an important question because it's almost like there's two sides to it. I hear what you're saying there. And of course, there's a lot of things that I keep secret, but usually I keep it secret for other reasons. You know, like I just did 2 products right now that are secret. And the reason they're secret is because I don't want people to know. It's like legal stuff, like my own stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't post on Facebook or anything. No one knows that I did these products, right? I have some of those. But it's not really like a monetary thing. I'm worried about competition or something because a lot of you know, I mean, Domainer Elite, there's sometimes word combinations that I've kept private, you know, that I didn't want to, that they're just for me, you know, so good that, you know, I just wanted to save for myself, you know. And there's a period of time where I used Domainer Elite myself first and, you know, got that out of my system first before I released it to the public. But at the same time, you know, the way you could weigh it out is like, say, are you going to be able to, is it going to be good for you to let people know about this? You know what I mean? Like, domain name wise, yeah, sure. You know, like the recipe, the keywords, more power to you. If you could use my keywords and come up with a domain, you know, if I'm not spending my time and my free time doing it, then, you know, if I'm not racing towards it, like, you know, I got enough, when I come to work, it's like I got enough really cool, exciting goals and projects that I'm doing. And I've got a great domain portfolio. I feel like I've spent adequate amount of time. I've got the best of the best of the best domains for $9. And then I got a couple premiums that I spent a little more for and stuff like that. And I mean, I got all these other projects. So if you can find something, if you could find a domain that's better than my domain, more power to you. But I mean, yeah, there's a side to that. There's like, you know, an ebook that I wrote, which I don't want people on Facebook knowing I wrote that. But I mean, it's not in any of these niches. It's like a yeah, I don't even want to mention the niche, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's killer. It's killer, and it's like, you know, I know what I'm talking about. It's deep, but it's almost too hardcore or powerful or something, right? So
we have a pen name, probably.
Yeah. So and then there's another one that I did that I mean, I kind of like the reasons why I would do something anonymously is something. It's not what you would think. It's not like I'm worried about competition, but it's more of like or something that I don't even want to turn into a product, right? There's some things that you do that you don't even want to turn into a product.
Interesting.
But that's kind of rare though, because I mean, like, what are you in this industry? What do you know, competition wise? Like, you're never really worried about competition because it's like kind of utopia like, and you're usually going to work with your competition in some way.
Oh, interesting.
It's not like
I'm working on a course right now that teaches people how to publish Kindle ebooks, audiobooks, paperback. I have over 200 books on Amazon. Right, I'm literally teaching in my course, like showing everything I do, and I'm pricing at such a high price. It's just, you know, it's just a new site.
Oh, that's
but like
yeah.
But like I had you as a coach before. You told me like, why are you selling for $4.97? Sell for $47. You know. Like, but I have a hard time kind of like, I don't want to sell for 47, man. This thing took me years to figure out. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I mean, like you have to weigh out the pros and the cons, because you're right. I mean, if it's like something where, like I'll give you an example, BJ. This will make you feel better. I had an idea to do like a course for people like you and people like the top guys, right? It would be like $5,000, and I mean, I would give like, you know, stuff that I wouldn't give a like on the consumer newbie level. They probably wouldn't even buy it, or so they wouldn't understand what they're looking at. But you know, like there'd be like the bullet points. It would be like how, you know, copy my PayPal dispute swipes, like how I win every, you know, when someone does a dispute on PayPal, you know, all right, you know, boom, 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 you know, go to work, and you upload the files, and then you see PayPal say, congratulations, the dispute has been settled in your favor as the seller. You know,
I know what you're saying.
So I was thinking of doing a product like that where I let, you know, like destroy serial refunders, grab them by the balls, and you know what I mean, like stuff like that. And it would be sold to like advanced
marketers.
It would be like $5,000 or something.
Right.
I mean, because it would be like, all right, now I'm helping out. I'm really helping out my competition in a way where, you know what I mean, like they might not even need me as a JV partner after they read this stuff. I mean, it's really that valuable, you know. And you know, more stuff like that, like you know, stuff that you wouldn't want people to know, you know, kind of like, you know, like internal stuff, little secrets and little tips and stuff that you know, the big companies might really not like that you do. You know, it might be like against their terms of service in a way. It might be construed as being against their terms of service. You know, sometimes you never, you know, got someone who's like, you know, no, that's against the terms of service. You're like, what? You know, like I've had that happen before. So, you know, insider information and stuff like that, like, oh, ways to find some, you know, get in contact with someone at PayPal, or how to get a BizOp offer on ClickBank when no one else is allowed to do that. You know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I've always, people always come to me like, how the hell did you pull that off? You know? And I was thinking of making a product like that, and that would be like $5,000, because there'd be a lot of like, I wouldn't call shady stuff, like nothing that hurts anybody, but it's more of like, you know, legally it might be like, oh, you're using their trademark, or, you know, or you're talking about, you know, how to win disputes, or, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. So yeah, that shit would be $50. So I hear what you're saying there, but you know, you got to also look at it like, is your Kindle thing doing amazing? And it's just in all these people, if you were to sell 10,000 of them tomorrow, would it hurt your business? Would it hurt your Kindle business? What is going to make more money? Because
it'll double my business. I think if I had 47 JVs who offered that deal, well, it would double my business.
Yeah, and so you got to look at it like that. Like, will it help or hurt your existing business? Like, if you're doing like 20,000 a month with Kindle, and then you launch this $47 product and you make like 3,000, and it ruins your Kindle product because now all your competition drowned you out. It just destroyed your Kindle thing, and you got paid like, you know, you only made like $5,000, you know, after affiliates or something. You had a little launch, you know, $30,000 gross revenue or something, which isn't that much, right? And then you know, $5,000, you're like, wow, I just ruined my entire Kindle business making this thing $47. And that's the decision you got to make, you know.
Gotcha. Cool.
You know what I mean? Like that's I think that's straight, you know.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time. For those of you guys who watch this video in the future, make sure to click the link below the video. Get Jamie's Domain Elite course, a Domain Elite course, Domainer Elite, I mean. And any other products that you have, any of the future websites that you want to mention that are such as live webinar. I think people will want to learn from you, live webinar, because you've done
that's one of the upgrades in Domainer Elite. You know, Domainer Elite is it's $97 for everything in terms of buying and selling. And then if you want some additional training, there's an upgrade for Unlimited Marketplace, and then there's an upgrade for Unlimited Webinars. And we do it like that. There's no recurring billing. There's no strings attached. It's just, you know, you want this, you want this, you want this, and they all kind of accommodate each other. You know what I mean? To complement.
Yeah, basically you're learning from Jamie just like this in a group setting, live on a regular basis, month to month. So that's really,
yeah, we're like a whole bunch
he knows,
of mad scientists. You know, we critique your domains, you know, but even before you buy them, you know, and we're really clever about it. Like we don't announce your domain if you don't want us to live, you know, because then other people would buy it. But you can run up domains by us and be like, hey, what do you think of this one? You know, dogfood.net. And then we'll be like, you know, oh, here's the good things about it, here's the bad things about it. We'll look it up, you know, we'll get this appraisal and stuff like that, and we'll appraise it. We'll, you know, sometimes it's not even about appraisals, it's about like related sales, you know, similar keywords being sold. What did they sell for? And then we use that with the listing, and we help you sell them. You know what I mean? Like help you make money with domains. Pretty
yeah, so
pretty good, yeah.
So guys, if you guys are interested in learning how to buy and sell domain names, which doesn't require as much internet marketing skills for most people out there, this is the guy. He knows how to do domain. He's sold, I mean, what's the most you've sold for domain? Like in the hundreds of thousands, right?
I'm waiting for a $4,700 one right now. It's like in escrow. And that domain is, I mean, it's a good domain, but there's 3 words in it. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, I sold badliar.com about 2 months ago, and that one was 3,000. So I sold a bunch of those like that. Domain names, I just sell a whole bunch of them for like 100 to 300 to 700, and then it's kind of like the daily, weekly, monthly thing. I'd say daily is 100, 200, right? A couple hundred. And then the weekly is like maybe the higher hundreds, like 700. And then the monthly is like the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, like this one. And then I've sold domains with websites, like websites for all the way up to 420,000 for websites.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing too, is like those websites I sold for 50,000, 100,000, 280,000, etc. Those domains by themselves weren't worth anything, but you know, you develop on them, you get traffic to the site, and you make income from the site. Then it becomes just everything else doesn't matter. Just money talks, bullshit walks. How much money it make in 12 to 16 months. 12 months is your starting. I mean, your reserve, and then 16 months is the buy it now. It's very simple.
Interesting. So click the link below the video. Check out how to buy and sell domain names from Jamie, and also in the upsell, check out his webinar on a regular basis. Jamie, thanks for being on the interview. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Later.